Okay, so this is going to be part 5. This is the final part, and this is going to start where I went into surgery. So I was taken into surgery, again, as you heard at the end of the last video, very scared. I'm very unsure if I'm going to make it through this. So they take me in, get me onto the operating table, and look at me and go, okay, are you ready? And I look at the guy that's above me, the anesthesiologist, and I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I'm actually terrified. And he was like, it's going to be okay. Ready? And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. And next thing I knew, he's like, all right, we're turning it on. And they turn, and I'm gone. I don't even remember anything else after that. I'm out. And guess that was kind of a nice thing because I was terrified. So they just knocked me out anyway. Go through the surgery, get out of surgery. My body was in shock at this point. So they actually called my wife, told her, hey, surgery went well. He did great. However, his body is now in shock.
Circulatory shock.
So I don't know again what's going on because I'm still intubated, I'm still knocked out, so I don't know what's going on at this point.
So he was in circulatory shock. They had to give him lots of medicine to keep him stable. He had 2 blood transfusions during surgery.
See, I don't remember any of this.
And so obviously, when he came out of surgery, he was on, I think, 7 different medications to keep him stable. He was on like an artificial blood pressure, like to raise his blood pressure, and lots of other medicines. And so over the night, so that was able to keep him stable. Then over the night, the nurse told me that he actually got a little worse. They had to go up on some of the medicines. And then by the morning time, they had went way down on the medicines. And then finally, by that next day, he was waking up. They told him, you know, we're going to extubate you. He actually, the first thing he asked me was turn on my football game. Like right after.
I had to type it on my phone because I woke up, I looked at the time on the clock that's on the wall, and I'm like, my football game's starting. I'm a Broncos fan. So as most fans, or most NFL fans know, the Broncos were doing pretty good last year. So I was excited. I'm like, turn on my game. I'm awake. I want to see it. I thought I was going to end up missing it because I thought I would still be knocked out. But I was able to get up and actually watch the game, which was cool. Still had a tube down my throat. Was very upset about that. Kept looking at her, telling her with my own, like my hand motions to get them to take this out for me, please. They kept coming in. They're telling me, okay, we're going to do it soon. We're going to do it soon. We're going to do it soon. 2 hours later, I looked at her and I'm like, get it out. And so they came in and they're like, okay, we're going to remove the tube for you. This was a scary process for me all on its own because as they're going to remove the tube, anybody who's been intubated know that you build up a lot of mucus and phlegm and a bunch of like liquid in your lungs and throat and everything as you're intubated. So I had built up a ton of excess stuff around the tube. So they stick another tube on the side of my intubated tube to now start sucking this out as they're slowly pulling this tube out of my throat. Mind you, I'm fully awake, fully coherent to what they're doing, and I am pissed. I am so mad because I'm like, I just went through surgery. I had this tube down my throat. Now I can't breathe. I'm choking on all this stuff as you guys are pulling this out. So they pull it out, keep sucking through my throat and everything like that. And sure enough, then they pull that out, and I'm able to take like my first real breath, and I'm able to make my first word. Mind you, at this point, I didn't realize I was going to sound like I couldn't even talk. But my voice, which you've probably seen in one of the other videos where she's talking to me and I have the heart pillow and everything, I definitely sound completely different than I actually normally do, which you guys can hear right now. So I'm like, the first time I open my mouth, what is this? Like, I thought I'd just be able to talk, be a little more normal. Didn't realize kind of what was going to happen. So they get it out. I'm able to spend my next day kind of going through the recovery process at that point. They
got you off all of the meds.
Yep, so they started taking all the meds off.
By the next day, the circulatory shock was like gone.
And I have rehab ladies now coming in and going, hey, we're going to stand you up. I'm like, you guys just cut me in half, and you're going, what? Hold on, can you say that to me one more time? So they go, and they want to get me up. I'm like, okay, let's get up, because I hadn't been up for now 3.5 weeks. And so I go to get up. That was, again, you guys have seen the video of me standing for the first time. I get up. If you haven't, you can go watch it. I stand up. It was probably the most painful thing, just to stand up. Luckily, it wasn't really my chest that hurt me very bad. It was more my legs because of the ECMO. ECMO, obviously, again, as you guys probably know from watching previous videos, has given me neuropathy. And my legs are still, even to this day, not where they should be. So I'm still working to strengthen my legs, get my muscles back, and my quads, my calves, you know, just building all that back up. But I stand up for the first time and try to kind of just make a little pivot with them. It was very hard. And then they're like, okay, we're going to sit you down in your chair. I had a chair in my room, the one that she was actually sleeping on in the ICU for the time we were in the ICU. So they sit me in the ICU chair, and like I sit down and like, okay, I made it to the chair. This is awesome. We're doing great. And so they're like, we're going to leave you here for about 30 minutes and we're going to move you back to your bed. That way I was sitting up, my legs were able to sit down, kind of just, you know, feel a little more normal. They go to get me back up. Again, major struggle to get me back up, get me back in the bed. And I'm like, I don't ever want to do that again. Obviously, knowing in the back of my head, obviously you got to keep doing this because you're not going to get stronger if you don't do it. But it was very painful and very hard for me. So then I started going through the rehab process. I had physical therapy coming in. They were really nice. The girls that work down at UCSD that do the physical therapy are really sweet. They're really understanding, and they're really they try to build you up. They want to make sure that, hey, you got this, you can do this. When you make the smallest little step, they're like, hey, you're doing great, keep it up, keep going. So that was definitely reassuring for me, just knowing that these ladies are really nice. They're really here to help me. They really want to make sure that I can get to the point where I can actually get out of the hospital. So go through the physical therapy for the next like week or so. We had the best nurses down there, the best time. They were all, UCSD's amazing all around. ICU, recovery unit, which is the step down unit from ICU that I went into. Just amazing people. We spent Christmas there in the step down unit. We spent New Year's in the step down unit. All the whole time I'm working on getting stronger. I'm getting up, I'm walking further. I'm starting to be able to walk the halls where I can do, like, there's a big old loop that you do up in the unit that I was in. So I was able to do the loop finally and start walking. Parents were coming, I was showing them, I was really excited. Then I was even able to start using the bathroom on my own, which was great. Sitting on a toilet, I don't know if anybody's ever had some gnarly surgeries, but sitting on a toilet is probably the most hard thing you can do after getting out of surgery. Toilets are pretty low to the ground, and it's really hard to get onto the toilet and then get back off of the toilet. So that was definitely a struggle for me, but hey, all in good fun, because I learned how painful it is, and I can really say that anybody that has gone through stuff like that, I feel for you. It is one of the worst things to deal with. Again, kept rehabbing. About a week and a half after that, being in the step down unit, they told me, hey, you know, we're gonna release you. And I apologize. In this time that I'm in the step down unit, they did take me in for an ICD. They came into my room, basically like, hey, we think you should have an ICD. It's just
because you went into VT.
Yeah, apparently I was in VT. I felt fine, but apparently I was in VT. I think I felt fine because I had the pump already in me. So they took me in to get me.
It wasn't VFib.
No, it's VT.
VT.
Yeah.
So that's ventricular tachycardia. So
they're different.
Yeah, they said that VT can lead to VFib, which is the lethal kind. But when he stood up to do his physical therapy, he went into like a pretty serious VT. So then
I went into an arrhythmia, and they sat me right back down. They're like, okay, we're not going to do it today. I was like, oh, okay, why? And they explained it. I'm like, well, let's not do it today. So,
yeah.
And then again, after that, they took me in for my ICD. Got that surgery. That was a wild surgery. I was not really knocked out too deep. So, I mean, for bits and pieces, I could hear them moving around and stuff. I didn't feel anything or anything like that. But I could hear the shifting. I mean, I could hear them talking at one point. And next thing I knew, I was sitting in the recovery room, opening my eyes. Luckily, they had taken the tube already out at that point. Because I made sure that was clear when I went in. I'm like, do not leave a tube in me. If I don't need the tube, take it out. So they took it out. I woke up, and they're like, okay, we're going to let you recover for 30 minutes, and we're going to take you back up to your room. Sweet. Take me back up to my room. I'm doing fine. Just so, a little side note, I hate this thing. It is very uncomfortable. When you sleep, when you wash it under your arm, everything is very, very uncomfortable. So when I can't get it out, I want to, but that's a whole nother story. But now I'm on the mend. I'm getting good. And finally they're like, hey, we're going to release you in the next like week. Me and her are like, if I'm doing good, can we do it a little sooner? And so we set a date with them. They were all for it. They're like, if you can meet like what we need by this date, we'll let you go. And I'm like, sweet. We're working really hard to make sure that I'm doing good. All the meds are working with me, that I'm able to get up, that I'm able to start doing things on my own. Sure enough, I passed all their tests that they were looking for. And they're like, okay, we're going to release you tomorrow. Basically, at that point, the next morning I wake up, they bring me my discharge paperwork. I'm excited. You guys have probably seen the video of me sitting on my bed with my phone. I'm really excited. We get out. My wife is staying at a hotel that's right down the street, basically a baseball throw away from the hospital. It was awesome. We went straight over there, got into the room. I started moving around a little more, being able to interact with my kids, etc. And then, yeah, so from there, I got sent I didn't get sent. I went to the hotel. We got to the hotel a couple days later, went back up to our house. They'd redone our house, so it was a little difficult for me to get up the stairs, get in, and then there was a bunch of boxes still around that we had to kind of work through. I should say she had to. And then, yeah, from there, obviously, as you guys know, now you guys have been following along from there with all the videos of me getting out and how I'm doing, etc. So today, I'm doing great. I'm feeling really good. I got really good news from my cardiologist, or my cardiologist team down in San Diego. I got really good news from the electrophysiologist that I just went and saw yesterday. So this is all really good. I'm really excited. And I'm definitely trending in the right direction to be able to have this removed. Everybody's rooting for me. All my doctors think it's very possible. So that's where I'm at today. And as you guys keep following along, you'll see how I'm doing on a week-to-week basis. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys staying with us for all this. We appreciate all the support, all the comments. If you guys could, please like, share, spread this story, because it is a very, very impactful story and can help a lot of people in a lot of different scenarios. So I want to be able to help anybody possible and share my story as much as I can. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for, again, following along with us. And we'll keep releasing different videos of how I'm doing and stuff like that. So we appreciate it. Other than that, have a good one, you guys.
Bye.